Christian soldiers marching as to war, with the cross of Jesus going on before. Christ the royal master leads against the foe. Forward into battle, see his banners go. Onward, Christian soldiers, marching as to war, with the cross of Jesus going on before. Oh, for a faith that will not shrink, though pressed by every foe, that will not tremble on the brink of any earthly woe, that will not murmur or complain beneath a chastening rod, but in the hour of grief or pain will lean upon its God. A faith that shines more bright and clear when tempests rage without, that when in danger knows no fear, in darkness feels no doubt. Lord, give us such a faith as this, and then whate'er may come, we'll taste and hear the hallowed bliss of an eternal home. A charge to keep I have, a God to glorify, a never-dying soul to save, and fit it for the sky, to serve the present age, my calling to fulfill. Oh, may it all my powers engage to do my Master's will. Arm me with jealous care, as in thy sight to live, and O thy servant, Lord, prepare a strict account to give. Help me to watch and pray, and on thyself rely, assured if I my trust betray, I shall forever die. Rise up, O man of God, have done with lesser things, give heart and mind and soul and strength to serve the King of Kings. Rise up, O man of God, his kingdom tarries long. Bring in the day of brotherhood and end the night of wrong. Rise up, O man of God, the church for you doth wait, her strength unequal to her task. Rise up and make her great. Lift high the cross of Christ, tread where his feet have trod, as brothers of the Son of Man, rise up, O men of God.
Let's edify. Good evening, y'all. I know you came here expecting a tri-stream, but CJ is out and about with our spiritual family in his local area and unable to attend. And O'Shea is, well, he's been burning the midnight oil. So right now he's just playing tech, and he's going to take a little bit of a break tonight. So you get me, and so we're going to put our tri-stream overview of the minor prophets on hold, and just have a nice, lovely chit chat, evening edification. Sam, to my knowledge, my sword is not the same as eSword. Are you looking for an app on your phone? The eSword that we use on our computers does have now an Android app. It has had an Apple app for quite a while. Unfortunately, the Apple version for your Apple computers is kind of steep, at least in my estimation. I'm not sure what the cost is of the Apple app, but the Android app is like $2, maybe $3 for the version. I haven't gotten around to paying for it, but it's supposed to have the same functionality as the app that I use, or the program on my computer. The one that I use the most right now on my phone, since I'm relatively cheap and don't like to spend money on apps if I don't have to, is Quick Bible. And that's the one that I will use to look up my verses. And I download several of the free versions. For example, I've got the KJV, the ASV, Tyndale's, and several others. They also, Quick Bible also has multiple language formats. I believe there's some Filipino ones in there. So if you're looking for an app on your phone, I recommend Quick Bible. I will also recommend eSword because I've had much familiarity with the computer version, but I absolutely the PC version of eSword is completely free. The Android version is like $3. I think it is. So, and there again, in both, I believe you have multiple versions, like you've seen on my screen. If O'Shea would pop it up, you can see the ones. I think at one time, I mean, these are the ones that I have on my, and all of these that I am using here on the screen that you can see are actual free versions that come with the program. But there are also multiple language versions as well. My sword, I think at one time was an admirer of eSword's attempt to make an eSword. I don't know if that come out right, but anyway, the if I remember correctly, now don't quote me on this, and I may not be remembering correctly, but I think the creator of my sword liked eSword and was unhappy that there wasn't an eSword version for the computer, or I mean for the phone. So he tried to create one, and so, but no, if you can get the E-sword, that would be my suggestion, or use Quick Bible, which has multiple. I like Quick Bible as well because it also has daily Bible reading functions to it. I don't know. I haven't tried really the print, although I can copy and paste with it. So, But anyway, good evening to all the rest of you out there. O'Shea, I hope you have sent this in messenger form to directly to Sister T, Carol. Who else needed? Maureen and Reba and Darlene. Hey, good evening, Heather. Sam says she got Olive Branch, U version. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know about the quick, the strong concordance. I know that eSword, E-dash sword for your phone, I believe, is like $3, and there may be a trial version. I don't know. But from what I understand, the eSword for your phone, it carries the same functionality that the eSword for your PC has. Where love is in the home, there's happiness. Where love is in the home, there's joy. Though the fare may simple be, still it's very plain to see. Where love is in the home, there's joy. Where love is in the home, there's harmony. Where love is in the home, there's bliss. If advanced in age you be, you may call to memory. Where love is in the home, there's bliss. Where love is in the home, contentment reigns. Where love is in the home, there's peace. Gold and silver cannot buy what it takes to satisfy. Where love is in the home, there's peace. Heather asks if we have any quick tips on how to navigate eSword. She's struggling to get the hang of it. O'Shea, would you bring it up for me? What in particular are you looking to get the hang of, Heather? Are you looking to navigate for Bible downloads, for example, or commentary downloads, or the different resources? Are you trying to, what are we looking at? Hello, Sean. Was my ears burning? Well, no, probably not.
Hi, all. And I just finished sending it to them in Messenger.
Thank you. Herbs, natural healing with your, oh boy.
That seems to go well with this, doesn't it?
It does. Sam says my sword allowed me to print a Bible, which is nice.
Ooh.
Carol, good evening.
For that one, Heather, you have to go over here to editors.
Okay, well let's begin first, O'Shea. What we normally do, Heather, when we make notes with verses to do cross-reference, we have. Let me see. What can we do for a note?
Where do we have a pre-existing note?
That's what I'm trying to remember. John,
James.
James might have one. Hebrews probably has one too.
I seen one the other day, but I don't remember where at.
Probably around 5. It's either
Just
2
at
or
the
5.
end.
No, it might be in 2.
This is how we make up our minds here. We sit here and we guess until we figure it out.
True. I think it's in 2 because I go to 2 a lot.
Now, a noted verse should have a line underneath it.
She was playing the drums out in the kitchen.
I'm like, what is that tapping noise? You just answered my question.
Guess it wasn't in 2.
3. Come
No,
on, there has
4.
to be a note in James.
4. 4 goes with the holy and submit yourselves unto the Lord. Sean once says Aslan wants us to keep praying for him. He's feeling a lot better than he was, but still has an awful cough.
Hey, Reba.
He has to go. His lovely wife will be here soon. Still not there, is it?
No. Isn't there
Sam
some
says, yeah,
it
it costs $2.99, but all peso used up. I do not have the credit card. Reba says, hi, y'all.
There has to be a place where they show us all of our notes.
No.
Really?
Really?
I mean, it makes sense.
Where did I annotate some? Let's see here.
Meh.
Hang on, where is it?
We were making notes in one of the Minor Prophets. I don't remember which one. Was it Hosea? Which chapter?
Just jump over to what about Matthew? Did I do anything in Matthew 7?
The thing is, we're used to your big Bible, which is riddled with notes everywhere.
Yeah, but I have marked.
I mean, you highlight some of them, but you don't necessarily add notes to all of them.
Okay. What about John? We've got John and we've got Acts.
John
we might have some of them. John 1. John 1, John 14, either one of those. No.
What a dorky situation.
Oh, shit, go back to the editor for a minute. Okay, you're on study notes. What's the other ones? Topics, and what's the other one?
You have topic notes and you have journal notes.
Okay, no, go back to topic, or go back to studies.
Don't know what this button does.
Paragraph shows you your formatting marks.
Oh. Okay.
And it may even be in, I don't think it is, but it may even be in version specifics. But keep going.
I mean, most of your notes are made in the KJV, right?
Yeah, go to 1 John chapter 5.
You're remembering where you've highlighted, but not.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the thing. Some of these should be, if I've highlighted a lot of them, they should actually have a study note with them.
Maybe
especially more of the recent ones. So 5 verses 2 and 3 don't have anything. What about 1 verse? Hello, Angie. 1 verse. Let's see. Chapter 1. We also have chapter 2. Chapter 1 has the walking in the light, which is not even done there. No, not 2. Chapter 3. Wow.
There's one. We found one.
Okay, you notice how this one has the line under it, Sister
Double
Heather.
line.
Well, yeah. Okay, now if we go to study notes, we have and I can't read that, but we have a verse listed in there by once we write. Somebody put the wrong thing there. That should not be a semicolon. It should be a colon. Okay, so don't worry, Sister Angie. We already know you're part of the Sleeping Sister sorority.
Then we hit enter to move down a line.
Yeah. Well, it's just like a regular word processor.
Right.
When you put in your study notes, this becomes essentially a word processor, and once you have entered a note for that verse, there's a link button. Is it there? Is the chain one right there to the right, as O'Shea?
This one?
Yeah.
This one synchronizes the notes with the active verse.
Right. So then you want to make sure that you have that one active.
Clicked.
So if it's yellow like this one is, then it syncs it with that active verse. And that means that anytime you go to that verse, this note will show up as with a double underline there. It indicates that you have a note with that particular verse, and you can then click on the study note, and it'll show you this particular note, whatever you have written. In our case, we have put Psalm 119, verse 172.
So then we can go over here and dial
and then you can go in and find it.
119.
Yeah, that's a long day, Sister Angie. Mine started at 5 o'clock this morning.
72, was it?
117. Or 172. $172. 119, 172.
All right, where was that John reference?
John 3. Right there, verse 7. Click. You're going to find out that it says 172, like I have been telling you. Are you not hearing me?
There's too many 1s and 7s and 9s.
No, I keep telling you 172. My voice is kind of rough this evening, isn't it? Boy, howdy, Sister Angie. You know, my dad has for the longest time gotten up at 4 o'clock. Well, 5 o'clock it used to be. Then he started driving bus, and he got up at 4 o'clock because he had to do milking. And then he'd get up at 4 o'clock and he'd do his Bible study, and then he'd go and do milking, and then he'd go and drive bus. So and so he got up and boy, I tell you, that made a long day because he wouldn't get done. A lot of times, his night didn't get done until almost 10 o'clock at night. So Olive Branch Sam says allows you to make note marks. When you go to that verse, you can click on it. It'll show you in the beginning of the verse, right? So this is how you make study notes. Now, remember that you can download reference books. For example, if O'Shea will, I don't know, you'd have to actually bring that particular screen up, but at least we can show you where to go. If you go to downloads, it gives you the option to download Bibles, commentaries, and resources. And what I recommend for the resources is the books by Josephus, Flavius Josephus, because he was a historian that lived around Jesus' time. He lived, and he was actually the very last survivor of Masada. And that's a really interesting story in and of itself, if you ever want to go and look at that. But he wrote two books of history. And one, of course, was the history of the Jews. And I forget what the other one was. But they're both contained within the resources there. Another one's Fox Book of Martyrs, FOXE''S Book of Martyrs. And then, of course, there's some geography, maps and stuff, which, tickled CJ to no end.
Yeah.
But we're dealing. Thanks, Sam. My voice adds character. Andrew wants to know what app are we referring to. We're dealing with eSword for the computer. eSword also has an app now for Android, and it's about $3 American.
And once
Flavius Josephus, Sam. I'm telling you to write that one out, O'Shea.
Anyways, and once you have the commentaries and downloaded, they end up over here in this bar, commentaries.
Right.
And they're all listed out here. And the ones with the blue exclamation mark are the ones that have something to say over the selected verse.
Right. Yes, Angie. On the screen, we're showing some navigational tips or suggestions for working with eSword on your computer.
Now, if you want to
that's what Heather was asking for.
Now, if you want to be able to use your dictionary, as you know, just going over here to the tab, you see nothing. You have to get the KJV Plus.
No. Well, sometimes you're right.
That's the only way I know how to do it.
Because I was thinking that the Brown Driver Biggs, but that's not it. Okay, yeah, you do have to actually get the plus.
You need KJV Plus, and then you click on this selected word, and then it will bring up the definition in the dictionary.
In the dictionary. Now, you notice in Strong's, for example, bring that back, O'Shea. Well, you can look at it here in the verse as well. They have an H in front of the number, like H5337. That simply denotes whether it's Hebrew or it's Greek. So if it's in the Hebrew, it'll be H, and if it's in the Greek, it'll be G. And if you have an actual paperback or paper version of, or hard copy, as we'll call it, of Strong's, you could actually look up that exact number in Strong's in the Hebrew concordance and read it for yourself as well there.
And it gives us how many times selected word is mentioned.
In the KJV.
In the KJV, yes.
So.
And like, say we go over here to, say, Acts 10 off the blue. And it has the G. Ding,
mm-hmm.
Greek.
And here again, I believe you can actually import those into your study notes as well.
Probably can copy and paste.
Yeah, but I think there's some. I can't see the stuff up there, but you should be able to link them into the study notes somehow.
You have another synchronization button clicked, and it synchronized lookup with word click.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's why if you click on that word, it'll automatically look it up over here.
Oh, I see. So you're gonna want that button clicked. There are a lot of buttons to press and tips to remember, but I really like eSword. And the binoculars are search functions.
Yes. The binoculars are search functions. If we could show that, which I don't think we can unless we
I have
O'Shea was to
tried.
actually go and show that particular screen. There are multiple options within the search function. For example, you can type in a phrase, seek after the old ways, or even just seek after. And if you, in the options, were to select, you can select the Old Testament, you can select, or the New Testament alone. You can select verses, or not verses, books, as in, okay, I only want to look in Psalms, or I want to look in the letters, the epistles, or I want to look in, the prophets. You can also look or select exact phrase, close match, something to that effect. And we have,
I'm
Shaya's
doing some Jedi wizardry.
uh-huh.
Seeing. We call this experimentally.
If you O'Shea, I need you to bring up the KJ. Bring up a word in the KJV. Just pick one on here at random. Bring it up in the concordance for me before you go into all that wizardry.
Okay, you're gonna have to tell me that again.
Grab the word vision or angel. Grab the word angel. G32.
Click.
Oh. Okay. Now go over to dictionary.
Dictionary.
Now, if you notice here, Sister Heather, maybe you can read it better than I can because I don't have my glasses on. One of the dictionaries I have up there is the KJC. Right, O'Shea?
Yes, KJC. King
Now,
James Concordance.
If O'Shea scrolls down to it shows you the very bottom. We have 186 verses in which this word angelo or angelos occurs.
It's used 186
times. Now, if he goes to the KJC,
click.
Scroll down. There's 185 occurrences in the KJV. 96 times it's listed as angel, and it lists every occurrence of those 96 times.
Does it start us off only in
Matthew? Well, of course, it's a Greek.
Oh, yeah, we're in the Greek section of the universe here.
Mm-hmm. Now, if you notice, Luke 1:18 through 19 actually has 2 occurrences of the word angel. Right. Luke 1:34 through 35 has 2 occurrences of the word angel.
And if you click on it, it moves
moves you right there directly. And you could mouse over it. Conversely, you can mouse over it, and it would bring up the actual verse so you can read it as well in the KJC.
Yeah. So, but of course, if I just mouse over it, you can't read it.
You can't read it. We can't see that because that is something that only the operator of eSword will be able to see.
It counts as a different window, which is too hard to figure out how to share. Yeah.
So
I wish I could share the search function. I have tried multiple times with CJ. But
I think you'd probably end up having to share a screen, and that wouldn't work very well. So, and if you want to use the references, that's a totally different tab up at the top of the screen, to where you'd have to go in and go to that function. It pops up in an alternate window, allows you to select the different whichever particular resource you want, whether you want to do like geography maps, you want to do some of the graphical the artistry of old, or whether you want to do, for example, the works of Josephus, the ante-Nicene fathers, etc. Yeah, watch the feedback.
Yeah, just tinkering around. There's a lot of buttons to hit in StreamYard. Yes.
So, well, we hope this actually helps. And I hope it furthers your study, because eSword is a wonderful tool to have in our arsenal as we try to study the Bible, because you have a wealth of information right there at your fingertips. And one of these days, I'm actually going to get to the point of where we're going to have somebody, like in our Sunday lessons, we're going to have somebody able to pull up the eSword version, as Dad or I am preaching, be able to pull up those references so that the viewer can actually also read it. But that's not yet. Anyhow, but it is a really powerful tool to have in our arsenal for our study, because we can go look up these words, get a deeper understanding of what they mean, how they fit within the context of that verse.
Also, I just discovered something new for me. When you highlight a word like this and you hit the binoculars, it automatically searches the highlighted word.
Cool.
That is cool.
Go ahead and send a link to Angie for this, would you please?
For what?
Our live stream, because she requests one.
Oh, okay. So she wants it sent to her in Messenger.
Yes, because she's going to head off to bed. Sleep well, my sister.
Alrighty. Will do. Where did Angie go? There she is.
I heard the voice of Jesus say, "Come unto me and rest. Lay down, thou weary one, lay down thy head upon my breast." I came to Jesus as I was, weary and worn and sad. I found in him a resting place, and he has made me glad. I heard the voice of Jesus say, "Behold, I freely give the living water, thirsty one, stoop down and drink and live." I came to Jesus and I drank of that life-giving stream. My thirst was quenched, my soul revived, and now I live in him. I heard the voice of Jesus say, "I am this dark world's light. Look unto me, thou morn shall rise, and all thy day be bright." I looked to Jesus, and I found in him my star, my sun. And in that light of life I'll walk till traveling days are done. Sam says, my sword to the church father. I had a lot of reference to that. Now, I want to caution you on some of the tools that you can use. Obviously, the commentaries in eSword are written by fallible men, whereas the Bible was inspired, authored by an infallible God, inspiring men to write an infallible account. The church fathers, however, that Sam's referencing, includes a plethora of men that extend beyond the inspired writers of the Bible. Yes, they do include the Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, Peter, and Paul, James, and the Hebrew writer. But they go beyond that and include such men as Tertullian, John Martyr, John Chrysostom, and others as well that extend well into the 300 AD range. So way beyond the last of the apostles. So we need to be really careful that we take that or we're mindful of these writers when we go to them, because after the death of John, there wasn't any other apostle in the office of apostle. John was the last of the apostles we have record of, or that the church has record of. And again, that comes from extra biblical writers. For example, Fox Book of Martyrs, John Fox, he lived after, I think he lived somewhere in the 1500s. I'm not for sure on that. I need to go back and recheck that date. But what he was able to do was compile from all these other manuscripts his book as he researched the history of the martyrs. You know, what happened to the apostles? What happened to the disciples that were famous in the church? And so what we have is John Fox going through records that were kept in places like the Vatican and compiling his book. So what we do know is after that which was perfect has come, 1 Corinthians chapter 13, that which was in part, i.e. the special gifts of knowledge, was done away with. And so we do need to really be careful and be aware of that when we run through men and commentaries, whether they are of our brotherhood, like Brother Gary Hampton, Brother Wayne Jackson, Gus Nichols, and et cetera, or whether there are of other people, for example, Darby or Matthew Henry, Charles Spurgeon, etc. These are men, and they are fallible. They make mistakes like you and I do. So the best course to do is to let the Bible interpret itself. Does that mean that we dismiss anybody else's? No. If we're having a difficult time of understanding a passage, we have other people that we can go to and see what their perspective was. And maybe that'll help us understand it. It's just like us going to our elders, going to the preacher, going to a more learned brother or sister and asking their advice, asking their help on it. And, it just, we just need to be really careful. And I that's all I'm saying is just, I want to make sure, that I'm clear on that. Is I'm not saying that we use whatever we read without a care. We need to be very careful. All righty. I think we probably already answered your question, Sister Carol, that you sent me in Messenger, right? Well, and that's a totally different topic when we get into differences of translations, Sam, because you've got literal, you've got paraphrase, you've got I can't remember it. Anyway, you've got multiple types of translations that you also have to watch out for. And so, I'll give you, I mean, there are those who do word for word translations, the Bibles that do that. The literal Bible is one. Then there are those who do kind of a intent, if you will, where they try to interpret the Bible with the intent of the writer behind, turning it into modern English, but still try to convey the idea of that was written, putting it in the language in the correct syntax, for example. But then you have those who paraphrase. And in essence, when they do that, there's a lot that is lost in translation. And there is some that's lost in any one of those type of translations. But you need to, the reason that I like to go with the KJV, the ASV, and yes, even the ESV, the NKJV, and there's another one that hit my horizon. I'm trying to remember. It starts with an N, but it's it's like an NL, and I'll figure it out probably by the time I get to bed. That they kind of mesh the literal. They stay true to the message. They don't paraphrase it. They have the least amount that's lost in the translation. I don't like the NIV. I'll flat out say that. I don't like it. There is too much of the translator's bias, religious bias, evident in that. Now, it goes without saying that there is no translation that is 100% without the translator's bias. That's why you have in the KJV, for example, the word Easter instead of Passover in Acts. But the word Easter does not take away from the doctrine of Christ, whereas there are doctrinal issues, that doctrinal bias that is inserted in the NIV and some of the other ones out there. And I think that's what you're looking at when you're talking about the Amplified Bible. And what you're looking at with a lot of the paraphrase. So that's the reason why I stick with the KJV, NKJV, ASV, yes, even the ESV. Sam, it's more than that. Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's a Bible who puts Levi's on Jesus, but let me put it this way. There was one, the Corn Patch Bible, and I absolutely do not recommend you ever even consider this one. But it essentially, yeah. Imagine, if you would, that Jesus came from Arkansas, and you'd have something close to what the Corn Patch was. It was a total one might say a total insult, blasphemy. It was rather, yeah, I would say it's rather blasphemous, because what they did is they went and they really made, basically rednecked everything. And there was so much lost in the translation, and they made him look as if he was a fool. So yeah, don't get that one. But how to got for songs? Shall I crucify my Savior? Wherefore me he bore such loss? Shall I put to shame my Savior? Can I nail him to the cross? Shall I crucify my Savior? Crucify my Lord again. Once I crucified him, can I crucify again? I temptation so alluring, doers pleasures so enthrall, that I cannot love my Savior well enough to leave them all. Shall I crucify my Savior? Crucify my Lord again. Once I crucified him, shall I crucify again. 'Twas my sins that crucified him. Shall they crucify him yet? Blackest day of nameless anguish can my thankless soul forget. Shall I crucify my Savior? Crucify my Lord again. Once I crucified him, shall I crucify again? Oh, the kindly hands of Jesus, pouring blessings on all men. Bleeding, nail-scarred hands of Jesus, can I nail them once again? Shall I crucify my Savior? Crucify my Lord again. Once I crucified him, shall I crucify again? Alicia? Wonder where Sister Darlene is. I hope she's doing all right. Praying for her and Johnny. How wonderful Savior is Jesus, my Lord. How wonderful Savior to me. He hideth my soul in the cleft of the rock, where rivers of pleasure I see. He hideth my soul in the cleft of the rock, that shadows a dry, thirsty land. He hideth my life in the depth of his love, and covers me there with his hand. and covers me there with his hand. A wonderful Savior is Jesus my Lord. He taketh my burdens away. He holdeth me up, and I shall not be moved. He giveth me strength as my day. He hideth my soul in the cleft of the rock that shadows a dry, thirsty land. He hideth my life in the depth of his love and covers me there with his hand, and covers me there with his hand. When clothed in his brightness, transported I rise to meet him in clouds of the sky. His perfect salvation, his wonderful love, I'll shout with the millions on high. He hideth my soul in the cleft of the rock that shadows a dry, thirsty land. He hideth my life in the depth of his love and covers me there with his hand, and covers me there with his hand. Sam says, what do I study now? I go to a video as a study partner for all from the Church of Christ or WBBS to help dig in. That's how I became a student again. I did okay on my own study, but I need someone to help at times to smooth my thinking. No one took the as a newbie study with me other than Sunday and Wednesday, but God helps with his direction. He does indeed. Here in the Philippines made look for resources like that and Christian Edification. I find it. I've been following Christ 38 years. I'm 58. I was shocked. Well, we're glad to be of help and service, Sam. We are indeed glad to be able to help you and edify you. That is our purpose, after all. Let's pick up the pace just a little bit, shall we? The Lord my shepherd is, I shall be well supplied. Since he is mine and I am his, what can I want beside? What can I want beside? He leads me to the place where heavenly pasture grows, where living waters gently pass and full salvation flows. And full salvation flows. If e'er I go astray, he doth my soul reclaim, when guides me in his own right way, for his most holy name. For his most holy name. All righty. I think I'm going to grab Alicia. like when wake up, Heather. I said, Heather, wake up. I'm going to grab you anyway. You know the song. By way of reminder, as this week is Christmas week, CJ has decided we will not have Romans class on Saturday. And, well, we're going to have our normal devotion each day of the rest of the week, and then pick it up again. I was going to take a kind of a week off, but I think I took most of my week off already during hunt week. So we're going to, as I said, just keep going like we will. New Year's Eve, I'm not going to be able to do it for Sam, unfortunately, but Sam, if you want to join us on our midnight run, then you're more than welcome to. We're going to be, and that's mainly because Sam, your midnight is going to be way too early for us. We're going to pray the new year in. We're going to do just like we did last year at the start of CEM. We are going to sing, and we are going to pray the new year in. The old year out, the new year in. And we are also at this, this year, we are having a guest with us to help us in this task. So there will be 4 of us this year. So we will begin at 11 o'clock Eastern, which is 10 o'clock our time here in Central. And we will ring in 3 midnights. So we will do Eastern, Central, and Mountain midnights. And then I'm heading to bed. Because Christmas or New Year's Day happens to be a Sunday. So what a wonderful day to begin a new year on, observing our Lord's Day. I'm going to sing 2 songs. Yes. New Year's Day and Christmas are always on the exact same day. So if Christmas falls on a Sunday, New Year's Day falls on a Sunday.
It just says New Year's Eve on it.
On the 31st, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's on a Saturday. So you can join me on this one if you want. The first song we're going to do is Follow Me. I traveled down a lonely road and no one seemed to care. The burden on my weary back had bowed me to despair. I oft complained to Jesus how folks were treating me. And then I heard him say so tenderly, my feet were all so weary upon the Calvary road. The cross became so heavy, I fell beneath the load. Be faithful, weary pilgrim, the morning I can see. Just lift your cross and follow close to me. I work so hard for Jesus, I often boast and say, I've sacrificed a lot of things to walk the narrow way. I gave up fame and fortune, I'm worth a lot to thee. And then I hear him gently say to me, I left the throne of glory and counted it but loss. My hands were nailed in anger upon the cruel cross. But now we'll make the journey with your hand safe in mine. So lift your cross and follow close to me. Oh Jesus, if I die upon a foreign field someday, 'twould be no more than love demands, no less could I repay. No greater love hath mortal man than for a friend to die. These are the words he gently spoke to me. If just a cup of water I place within your hand, then just a cup of water is all that I demand. But if by death to living they can thy glory see, I'll take my cross and follow close to thee. Sam says, I love that song. Every time I hear it, it sends joy in my nerve to my heart and spirit. The smoke has been getting to my voice, and the higher registers get to my sinuses. All right, here we go. Huh? No, it's not going to help. This one is a favorite of Heather's, and I'm going to close on it because I love the way that Alicia sounds when we sing this one. Flee as a bird to your mountain, thou who art weary of sin. Go to the clear flowing fountain, where you may wash and be clean. Fly, for the avenger is near thee. Call, and the Savior will hear thee. He on his bosom will bear thee. O thou who art weary of sin, O thou who art weary of sin, he will protect thee forever. He will forsake thee or never, sheltered so tenderly there. Haste then, the hours are flying. Spend not the moments in sighing. Cease from your sorrow and sighing. The Savior will wipe every tear. The Savior will wipe every tear. Sam says you can read Psalm 4. Reba says, thank you for the edification tonight. I hope you all have a blessed night. Love you too, sister. Sam says, never mind, you close already. Yep. We hope you have been edified. And, you know, it's nice to talk about just various things on what you need or what's on your mind. And that a lot of times just helps to edify, just to have somebody to talk to. But we are hoping that you have been drawn closer to God in your walk this day. That way, whether we wake tomorrow to serve Him here on this earth, or we wake up there tomorrow to serve Him up there. And wouldn't that be wonderful? You know where we'll be, because I'll see you then. God bless.